With the Philippines having one of the world's richest marine ecosystems, protecting the rights of small-scale fishers and preserving ocean resources have never been more urgent. OCEANA champions science-based policies that ensure food security, sustainable fishing, and climate resilience in coastal communities. What more needs to be done to safeguard our seas and our fisher folks who depend on them? Joining us is the Senior Director for Campaign, Legal and Policy of OCEANA, Attorney Rose-Liza Eisma-Osorio. Good morning, Attorney Liza.
Good morning, Karen. Happy to be here.
So OCEANA recently came out with a report regarding the dwindling fisheries production since 2010 for both commercial and municipal fishing. Ano po ang nakakabahala sa report na ito?
What's very alarming here is, the impacts of the dwindling fish catch, no? Especially the direct impacts sa mga maliit na mangingisda natin, the artisanal fisher folks in the Philippines. Kasi sila ay, directly dependent on these resources, and ito yung primary source of livelihood nila. There are over 2.5 million fishers, municipal fishers in the Philippines, and they also contribute to the food security of local communities, their fish catch. So ito po yung nakakabahala sa report na recently that we released.
Does the report also indicate what causes the dwindling fish catch? Because in the sea, mahirap yung borders, not like with the land, diba? Madali mong makontrol ano yung lalabas. But here, technically, the fish can just roam even beyond our territorial waters. So, yung mga issues with other countries fishing in our territorial waters can affect that dwindling supply.
Yes, so Attorney Karen, yung effect nito would be yung illegal, unreported, unregulated fishing. IUU fishing ang tawag natin ito. And usually, inside the Philippine territorial waters, we protect the 15-kilometer municipal waters from the coastline. Ito ay reserved for our artisanal fishers. Pero maraming encroachment or intrusion ng commercial or industrial fishing vessels into the municipal waters.
So that includes Filipinos din talaga,
yes.
yung nag-overfish in a sense.
Yes, inside our municipal waters. So yun po yung isa. And of course, in our EEZ, of course, marami ding encroachment, especially in the western part of the country, the West Philippine Sea. So yun, dapat sana, di ba, the exclusive economic zones are for Filipinos, for exploration, exploitation of the resources. Pero alam natin, hindi natin, we observe based on our Karagatan Patrol, which is an online platform that we have that detects, super lights or strong lights used by fishing vessels. Marami talagang nagpopondo in the West Philippine Sea area, especially in our exclusive economic zones. The West Philippine Sea is actually the source of our larvae, yung mga itlogan ng isda. Kung may massive destruction din nangyayari doon, especially the corals, liliit din, magdidwindle din yung mga fish larvae na supposedly madidistribute yan towards the inner part ng Philippine territorial waters.
And the encroachment when it comes to the West Philippine Sea, when you say that, the light detector, that type of activity, does it come from other countries?
That we don't know. Kasi yung lights lang yung nadidetect natin. That's why we're pushing the government na the full implementation of vessel monitoring measures. For the Philippines, na almost 90% na of our commercial fishing vessels have vessel monitoring mechanism. Yung tracking devices kung saan sila nangingisda, pero meron pang mga 10% na hindi nalalagyan. Ma-identify na nun kung sino ang nangingisda, kung Filipino vessels ba siya or hindi. So, the more that we are able to track this with these devices, if the government fully implements and shares this data publicly, kasi ngayon, hindi kasi na-share yung data, we will know sino talaga. But of course, we have anecdotal reports naman, as you all know, kung sino yung ibang mga fishing vessels na nandyan, especially sa West Philippine Sea area.
Why does OCEANA prioritize small-scale or municipal fisher folks in its campaigns?
Yeah, of course, they are the most vulnerable, marginalized sector of our economy. They're the poorest of the poor, which is ironic kasi we're supposed to be surrounded by waters, no? Pero we're supposed to be, one of the richest in terms of marine biodiversity. Pero sila yung poorest, no? So that irony is very apparent to us. And kailangan natin ma-empower sila and also to ensure that their source of livelihood are protected from, destruction. Kasi kung nandyan yan, kung they're intact, hindi yan nade-destroy marine ecosystems, especially sa nearshore areas, then, they could be ensured their food, the fish food that they need every day, and also the local communities that they contribute to, the food security in their communities.
So how does OCEANA help the small fisher folks so far?
So far, we bring their voices to the negotiating table, so we also empower them. Kasi for so long, parang they feel so unheard, disempowered. So ngayon, nadadala na natin yung boses nila sa gobyerno. We make sure that they become part of the decision or policy making processes, no, for the management of our fisheries. And of course, may mga in terms of mga fighting for their legal rights, no, may human rights or protection of their preferential rights to fisheries. Kasama din natin sila sa pagpa-fight using legal tools or legal methods such as filing cases in court. So sila naman ay kasama natin all the time.
Does OCEANA also act on illegal practices of small fisher folk? Let's say if they're involved in dynamite fishing or cyanide fishing.
Yes, we are involved in trainings, capacity building for law enforcement agencies. So, hindi natin pinipili. Basta illegal, no? Basta mali yung ginagawa nila. Sinasabi natin in our trainings and when we assist law enforcement agencies in the enforcement of the law, sinasabi natin na this is how they should enforce it, and they should not choose kung sino man. Basta mali yung ginagawa ng tao or ng individual. Yeah,
Sino po ba nagmo-monitor sa kanila? Lalo na yung pati yung paggamit ng fine nets that
Fine
also,
mesh nets.
yeah, exactly, that either captures the corals and the baby, yung mga little fish pa lang.
That's actually illegal per se. So, hindi siya ina-allow sa local municipality level. So, the municipality has direct jurisdiction over their municipal waters. So, kung nangyayari siya sa loob ng municipal waters, yung LGU, yung law enforcement na team ng LGU, ang dapat nag-enforce against those mga uses ng fine mesh nets.
And is it true that you have issues against amending the fisheries code?
Yes, kasi the current moves to amend the fisheries code is to remove the 15-kilometer municipal water area. So, alam naman natin na 15 kilometers is very important for the small-scale fishers. And kung alisin to, i-allow parang i-legitimize yung pagpasok ng mga commercial, industrial fishing vessels into municipal waters, that could, increase the competition between the small scale and the large commercial vessels. Sino mananalo doon, di ba? And so, increased competition. And also, yung gears kasi ng commercial fishing vessels are very efficient, very destructive. So, kung i-allow mo to fish inside, masisira din yung mga corals that's inside the municipal waters. Ito yung mga habitats na nandoon kasi they use mga bottom trawls that drag on the seabed. So, masisira talaga. So, yun yung talagang fina-fight namin na they will not amend that. Kasi it's proven that if we protect our 15 kilometers municipal waters, that would actually be, ensure the sustainability of our resources.
Alam niyo po ba kung sino nagsusulong nitong amendment sa Fisheries Code? Sa Senate, sa Congress?
Yeah, that even the judiciary. So, meron silang case right now, di ba? So, nagsusulong, of course, the industrial or the commercial fishing sector are pushing for it. And they've tried in the legislative, they did it through Congress, they also tried executive. So, and now they're also trying sa judiciary. So,
Judiciary in the sense that there's a case that
there's a
filed.
pending case.
Okay. But would you know if anyone in Congress or Senate is championing this amendment for their behalf?
Not like very clear who is like the specific person championing. But we know that there have been proposals, proposed laws or bills introduced in Congress.
There's already a bill filed in Senate for the blue economy. Is this something that OCEANA is involved in or has looked into to make sure that the local fisher folks are protected?
Yes, we have definitely looked into it in the last Congress, 19th Congress, and unfortunately the bill did not pass. But there were some provisions in the bill that we were not in favor of kasi tinatawag nilang parang blue economy or ocean-related activity ang reclamation, for instance. And we're definitely against reclamation kasi it contributes to the destruction of our marine resources kasi tinatambakan, di ba? Pinapatay permanently yung mga habitats natin. So, yun ang hindi namin, we were not in favor of that. We were not part of the discussion, but we were asked about it in a way. So I hope when they refile the Blue Economy Bill, they will rethink that provision about using reclamation as an example or a method of enhancing, what they say, the blue economy.
Is OCEANA also against the reclamation in areas like Manila Bay, where it seems like there's really the marine life has deteriorated for so many years already?
Yes, we are. In fact, that was one of our campaigns in the previous years that I led. And we managed to have, a what you call policy passed by the Department of the Interior and Local Government, wherein local governments were made to be, responsible for the approval of these projects without looking into the environmental impacts. So the EIA law was made serious on their part. So dapat tingnan nila ng maigi. They ensure that there will be consultations of the community. There would be appropriate, environmental and social impact assessments done before they approve this project. Kasi yun ang nangyayari. So they will be held accountable if they miss, on those prerequisites. Pero alam naman natin, di ba, it still kept on going on. And hanggang sa parang nag-call ng moratorium ring president.
Yeah. But now it's resumed. The reclamation has resumed
some
in
of
other
them,
parts.
I heard, there are no announcement yet from the president. But what they said was there would be cumulative impact assessment, right, to be conducted by DNR, which was already announced, the results of which was announced a few months ago. Na, of course, the destruction is evident in Manila Bay. And Manila Bay, they said, is still very much alive. So why are we killing it?
It's very much alive. Okay,
According
so
to the
since OCEANA
scientists.
is science-based, kaya pa bang i-revive ang Manila Bay? Like, to the point na babalik ang mga isda at pwede pang mag-swimming ulit doon safely?
Yeah, actually, Manila Bay is very wide, from Bataan to Cavite. So parts of Bataan, marami pa talagang like mangroves. So these are important for, the production of fisheries. Dito sa baba, sa Cavite, yung La Papachea, yung Las Piñas, Parañaque Wildlife Park na the last remaining mangrove area daw, sabi nila, in Metro Manila. These are sources of, larvae pa rin, itlugan ng isda. Kaya meron talagang mga fishery resources pa rin, like sardines. It still produces this mga fishery species. And yung mga tahong, yung mga matahongan sa Cavite, unfortunately nga, pinapatanggal ito dahil sa reclamation project. So, yan, yung isa sa mga nakita natin direct impact of this coastal development projects.
Well, since you mentioned already sardines, how does OCEANA promote sustainable sardine fishing?
Yeah, for OCEANA, we help the government come up with a national sardines management plan actually. So, through our campaign, we help the government craft them. Meron na tayong plano on how to manage our sardines. Kasi ito yung staple ng Filipinos and kailangan natin ma-manage to. And so the plan needs to be implemented na lang talaga, in an honest to goodness way. We have what we call fisheries management areas na in the Philippines based on the fishing grounds. Alam natin saan fishing grounds very rich in sardines. So dapat yung management board doon tutukan, gagawa talaga ng action plan para ma-manage yung sardines na ating resources, yung very bountiful resource natin.
The fisheries management areas, FMAs, that's under the national government.
Yes. Yeah, it was created by virtue of Fisheries Administrative Order 263, and the administration is with the Bureau of Fisheries. Yung head ng FMAs, may 12 FMAs tayo, would be BFAR regional directors. Pero yung body are composed of local governments, even the fisheries sector, the commercial, the municipal sector, aquaculture sector. Sila yung magde-decide, magka-craft ng policies para based on science. So, kung meron na tayong parang data on like ito na yung state ng galunggong, for instance, malapit na siya ma-overfish. Kailangan sila gumawa ng harvest control rules na para at least ma-manage yung
pag-fish
yung pag-dwindle. So parang kailangan mag-declare sila closed season or other management measures.
Nagagawa po ba yan?
Medyo hindi, may nagagawa ng ibang areas, pero medyo huli. Kasi the science that we need, medyo doon pa tayo tumututok. Kasi doon yung deficient yung Philippines, yung the science that is needed.
The tools and the equipment that we need as well.
To study yung resources that are placed in this science assessments, scientific assessments. Pero meron ng mga areas, like I think the Palawan area, yung Galunggong, meron na silang study about ito na yung level of ng resources. Kailangan na natin i-manage. Pero of course, medyo political ang nangyayari sa pagde-decide in the management board. Kasi may voices na strong, sasabihin na, ay, ayaw namin i-lessen yung effort namin kasi kailangan natin kuha ng kuha. So, kailangan ma-understand ng iba't ibang sector, especially those sitting in the management boards, how to like step back and say, yes, we need to protect this. We need to manage it properly.
And attorney, yung na-mention mo kanina na ang mga fisherfolk natin, sila yung pinaka mahirap, vulnerable sector sila sa Pilipinas. But ano po yung ginagawa ng gobyerno natin or even groups like OCEANA to help them really earn a decent income from being fishermen?
Yes, yun nga, for OCEANA muna, we're now launching, we have launched a new campaign, yung Fish in Nutrition Systems campaign, na tinitutukan natin yung importance ng fish sa nutrition, daily nutritional needs ng mga artisanal, especially artisanal fisherfolk. And nakita natin in areas like Samar, where we're piloting this, one of the reasons bakit hindi nababalik yung nutrition, yung fish na unfortunately sa kanilang families, sa kanilang communities is because of the lack of post-harvest facilities na mag-help mag-store or process to products that they could eat, they could keep, no? So yun yung ginagawa natin. We're focusing on post-harvest activities na bigyan sila ng equipment like ice, for instance, para mas ma-preserve ang fish longer. Hindi siya natatapon pag may wastage. Kasi may times din na marami yung kuha, may times less yung kuha. So, hindi siya consistent. So, yung kung marami, natatapon dahil wala silang ice and nasisira lang. Siyempre, sayang, di ba? At hindi nila napoprocess into, sardinas ba? Or,
But what about buying fish at a higher rate? Kasi ginagawa yan for our farmers, di ba? Yung sa rice, binibili ng NFA ng mas mahal. But it's subsidized by the government, yung diferensya sa presyo. But sa fishermen, hindi mo ba kaya gawin yan?
Oo, that's not done yet. That's, actually a good idea. Kasi for now, yung market forces pa rin ang nagdidictate ng presyo ng isda. Unfortunately, yung mga dinalan ng mga fishers, kinokontrol din ng mga middlemen. Like, they buy that 50 per kilo. And then, you end up, the market, when you buy in the market, 200 per kilo. So,
ang laki ng tubo
masyado. Ang nagbe-benefit are the middlemen, di ba? So, kailangan tingnan din yan.
Okay. And lastly, plastic, it's a big problem in the Philippines, but even worldwide. But there's a report that says that the Philippines is one of the biggest exporters of plastic in the world, of plastic waste. Are there any initiatives to curb plastic pollution?
Yeah, for us kasi the only way to curb it is to stop plastic at source. Kasi yung analogy namin doon is if there's an overflowing bathtub, hindi mo lilinisan, imamap yung surrounding areas, but you turn off the tap, right? So the more we produce plastics, the plastics that we cannot manage, as solid waste, hindi natin na ma-manage. Only, based on our data, only 9% of all plastics ever produced in the planet have been recycled. So 9% lang. So what happens to the 90%, no? The rest of the plastics produced? They end up everywhere in our oceans. And ngayon may studies na nasa isda na kinakain na, and then nasa air, no?
And in our bodies,
in our
actually.
bodies,
Oo,
yeah.
they've even found those particles in our organs, sa lungs. It's very disturbing.
It's very disturbing, no? So, kaya nga sabi natin, we have to stop the plastic, stop producing and, selling this plastic, especially yung single-use plastics, no? Something that we have an alternative. Hindi naman namin sinasabing totaling talagang ngayon. But we can do it incrementally, no? Meron tayong batas, yung RA 9003, yung Solid Waste Management Law, that we can list non-environmental acceptable products and then phase them out, eventually. So yung demand namin, in fact, we filed a case in the Supreme Court that we have 10 plastic items that we should phase out already, like plastic water bottles, yung plastic labo bags, yung mga plastic utensils. Meron naman tayong alternatives dyan, di ba? So
that case is pending in the Supreme Court.
Pending pa rin in the
We're
Supreme
very
Court.
curious to see. Kailan niyo po final?
We filed it, I think, 2021.
Tagal na, 4 years na po.
But it was remanded to the Court of Appeals. The Court of Appeals actually ruled in our favor.
Okay.
But that it was a ministerial function. That 20 years na yung batas hindi pa ginagawa. But hindi ginawa yung gusto namin na kailangan i-phase out na yung ngayon pa yung plastic.
So that's why you're back in the Supreme Court.
In the Supreme Court.
MR?
Oo.
Okay, motion for reconsideration.
Well, I'm the MR.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Attorney Liza, and good luck to all the initiatives of
Thank you so
OCEANA.
much.